ceremonies every weekend, every Friday at the Sweat Lodge. There's men in there that cry every single week, and we see and it happens because they know there's safety, there's respect, there's no judgment. You know how you are, that's how you're welcome, and that's what our ceremonies and cultures do, right? They create that safety. So we need to create more space for that to happen. And so to your point, Kurt, yes, we need spaces in the city where we can light our smudge, because often our elders say we get invited to go into these buildings, into these circles in the city, and they say, oh, but you can't light your smudge in here because we've got bylaws, and the elders say, oh, so you invite me into your home, but I can't be myself. And so that sends a clear message, right? And so yes, we do need a space for that, and Muscanawa is one of those. We had an elder call us a few weeks back, and he says, we can't find any place to do our 4 days of mourning. We can't find any place to do our overnight mourning ceremony, overnight and morning ceremony for a lost one. And so Moh'Kinsstis said, come here, come to our building. You can do it here. But we just happen to have a standalone building where we have full control over it. The owners allow us to do that, but it's not ours. At any given moment, the owner could say, "Hey, what the hell are you doing? You got a dead body in there," and it's like, that's how they would look at it. Whereas us, this is a mourning, cultural, spiritual process, right?
Yeah.
And so we need that. We need that. Absolutely, we need that. So that people can address the mourning and the trauma and show our young ones and little ones how it should be done, how it has been done for millennium. So we need places. We have a vision of an organization, and our vision is children, youth, and families thrive in a culturally responsive community. And we pride ourselves on not defining culture. Culture is defined by the individuals and the individual's choice. All we do is, like I said, we offer and we invite, and if somebody comes in, before we started, we were just Cree, right? Cree and Ojibwe, because that's who we are. Or sorry, Cree and Saulteaux, because that's who we are. But what started happening is, our Cree and our Saulteaux families started coming, and they're bringing their spouses, and their spouses were Blackfoot, we're Stony, we're Ojibwe, we're Métis, whatever, right? So we had to expand our circles, and so I remember sitting in the Sweat Lodge for years, and the grandfathers would say, they're coming. It's like, who's coming? And this one time, this one man came to us, and he was from south, from the Bloods, and he says, I want to do a night lodge, and this Blackfoot night lodge, and we had no clue, right? Well, that's like, we don't know nothing about that. He goes, well, these are the elders, and he gave us the elders, and said, all right, we'll connect to the elders, and we connected to the elders down south, and we said, we have some families here that want your ceremony, and I said, we have a place where you can do it. He goes, okay. He goes, I'll come, and then he says, but I like to sweat first before I do that ceremony, that all night ceremony. And he said, sure. He goes, do you have a place where we can sweat? And it was like, yeah, you can come to our Cree Sweat Lodge if that's okay with you. And he goes, absolutely. He goes, all right. And so anyway, me and my brother Patrick are getting the lodge ready, and we go in, and we got everything, and then they start coming in, and when you're doing it, you're just in your prayers, right? And I remember, just as we were about to close the door, I lifted my head and I looked up, and there was 6 Blackwood elders sitting in our Cree teepee, Cree Sweat Lodge, and I thought, that's what the Mushum meant by they're coming. and from that point on, they knew who we were, and they were coming to check us out, and that, because we were in their territory, and we've been running these Cree Sweat Lodges for over a decade, and so now they're coming to see, the old man needed to lodge before the ceremony, but they're also coming to check us out. And I remember one elder that was sitting in there, he goes, I seen you at the powwows for years. He goes, I had no idea that you knew these songs in this way. And that's because we kind of, out of respect, we just kind of, kept to ourselves. We didn't want to offend or disrespect anybody. So we'd go out onto private land, onto Crown land, and build our sweat lodge. And, if we were on Crown land, every now and then, Alberta Parks would come in with their bulldozer and knock it all down, just to desecrate our ceremonial grounds. And that was kind of our life, right? We're still, it's not our territory, so we still got to find these spaces where we conduct our ceremonies. But we need more of them. We need more of them within the city and out on Crown land. And so,
totally. And if you look at it, like within our cities, there's so many places for non-indigenous peoples to pray with churches and stuff.
Mhm.
And I'm actually I've been filming a lot of churches around Turtle Island in our travels with music, and I'm doing a documentary on that because I would really like to see spaces in every major city for us to have a place to pray. And it's wonderful that you have a spot in. So where is your business located? Where's the building located?
Well, it's, we've got a great building in Sunridge Mall area. We're just off Barlow Trail. But unfortunately, the pandemic has hit everybody hard, right? And we've got this 26,000 square feet, and we literally got like 2 full-size teepees in there, and the elders love it, and they come and do ceremonies in there all the time. But the pandemic hit us, and we lost some contracting, and we got to move because we can't afford $480,000 a year. So we're having to downsize like a lot of people. And so we're having to move. So now we're back in that space where we're negotiating with potential new building owners the ability to say, hey, we need to smudge. That's kind of, that's a game changer for us. If you can't let us smudge, we got to find someplace else. So that's where we're at right now.
I just got a quick question about that, because as a housing outreach worker, we when we move people into places, landlords can't stop you from smudging in your personal residences now. So how does that work in businesses? Because there was a court case saying that if they try to stop you from smudging, it's religious persecution. Like, we use that as housing outreach workers to argue with landlords about it, because that court case was actually in the courts.
Yeah. Before. And again, Trent, that's one avenue of taking that. You can take that hard-nosed battle attitude and go in there and fight for your rights, or you could try to build relatives and educate and inform, right? And so we want to be in a place where people want us, right? If I go in there with guns a-blazing and I might get my way, but then there's going to be those residual negative relationships and emotions that you don't want to surround our ceremonies, right? So we go in there with a softer approach, one where we educate and inform them about, we picked the sage right up here on Nose Hill. It's local to here. The sweetgrass is all around here. This is what we're burning, and we show them, right? And we talk to them a little bit, and we share parallels. That's what they're doing in all these churches. They're doing their own smudging. This is just an Indigenous one. And the reality is, this has been going on here for thousands of years, and now here we are asking permission to keep doing it. Yeah.